YouTube fam? This is Desi aka Jamazoid here, and today we will be taking a look at the top 10 moments in Life is Strange. Now these are of course my favorite moments in Life is Strange and not necessarily everyone else's, because I do understand that everyone does not share the same opinion that I do. Before I get started, know that there are major, and let me say this again, major spoilers to the main storyline of this game. If you haven't played the game yet, what are you doing? Stop the video right now, go download all 5 episodes because they are available now. It's been out for a year. What are you doing? Go play it, then come back and see if your top 10 matches up with my top 10. Now, before I get started into my actual top 10 moments, there are some honorable mentions worth mentioning because they didn't quite make my list, but they're still worth, being shown. So here they are.
Yes! I did it! No way! No! Victoria?
Oh, Samuel, sorry.
Number 10. Max and Chloe see each other for the first time after 5 years. This isn't the first time the two have actually met each other in the episode, since the first time they met was when Max discovered her rewind powers while unknowingly saving Chloe's life. I really love the shocked look on both of their faces when they realized who each other was. It did lead to a very nice dialogue in Chloe's car on the way to Chloe's house, so that was pretty cool. Number 9. Peeping Warren. Like most folks, I didn't catch this one on my first playthrough of the game. I caught it on my second, but when I saw it, I busted out laughing because it says so much about how infatuated Warren is with Max. It's subtle, but it's awesome. Number 8. Finding out Mr. Jefferson is the killer. I put this kind of low on my list because I figured it out before the big reveal at the end of episode 4, but it doesn't make it any less memorable. The way it was presented was masterful, and it really set up the events of the final episode very well. Number 7. Showing Chloe your powers.
Let's talk about
at the end of episode 1, Max does tell Chloe about her powers and how she saved her in the restroom. And Chloe does sort of believe her because of the freak snow that happens afterwards. But in episode 2 Out of Time, Max is able to give Chloe a live demonstration of what she can do by showing her a few small tests. Then Max brings out the big guns and shows that she really can rewind time by showing Chloe a future prediction that comes true. After this, Chloe has no doubt in her mind that her bestie is superpowered. Number 6. Time frozen sections. Episode 5 has provided a lot of different twists and turns up to this point. Toward the end, you are first presented with Two Girls Diner with everyone that you have interacted with the first 4 episodes, as they plead with you to save them. After this, you are transported to a walk down memory lane with all the major interactions that you have had with Chloe up until that point. You have to pay close attention to each of these sections as they will help you make the final choice in the game. Number 5. Ending Chloe's suffering. Since you saved William at the end of Chaos Theory, you find out in the preceding pictures that Chloe ended up getting into a car crash and is now paralyzed from the neck down. When playing through Darkroom, you will eventually come to the fact that this alternate Chloe is dying and there is nothing more that the doctors can do to save her. Chloe's parents are still holding out for a miracle, but Chloe doesn't want her parents to keep drowning in debt. While looking through old photos of you and her as kids, she asks you to end her suffering. If you refuse, she will guilt trip you and ask you to leave, but if you respect her wishes, you will turn up the morphine and she passes away. Number 4. Entering Max's dorm room for the first time. To some, this may seem like an odd choice at this spot considering what number 5 was, but let me explain.
My favorite cocoon.
When you get to see Max's room for the first time, we get a chance to know more about
I'm glad Kate let me borrow her
yes,
copy of the
you
October.
can get a sense of her by reading her diary, but you get to know more of her personality when you see her room.
I love Julia Cameron's Victoria.
You find out that she can play the guitar, and that she also has a pet plant named Lisa. This is also the place where she takes her everyday hero picture with her photo wall. We also get to see how much of a photo nerd she really is. Just as a little sidebar, the song that's playing on Max's radio in this episode is the same song she plays on the guitar acoustically. Number 3. Sacrifice Chloe or Arcadia Bay. This is the final choice you get to make in this amazing game. You now know that every time that Max's daughter is present, she is doomed in the future. Now you have to make one of the toughest decisions in the game. Do you heed the words of Chloe and save Arcadia Bay for the greater good, or do you save your best friend, who you have been through so much with through the past week? To be honest, this decision questioned my morality, because as much as I love Chloe, I could not be that selfish by letting all those people die, considering that you saved half of them in the previous section. I think the game does kind of want you to save Arcadia Bay because of the way that the ending is set up if you do sacrifice Chloe. You get the emotion and all the good music, because I honestly did cry when I had to let Chloe go, because you have to sit there and relive the beginning of episode 1, and you can't save her this time. You have to let her get shot by Nathan. I had to stop the game because I bawled out crying, and it sucked because I was live streaming at the time. And it was not very pretty, but it was real. If you sacrifice Arcadia Bay, then you kind of get a phoned in, like, generic ending. You get, like, I think obstacles plays again, and then you just have Max and Chloe driving to the town, which is kind of like meh compared to, you know, the whole buildup of, like, Chloe being buried and all that good stuff. In the end, it was a great way to end the game, regardless of which choice you made. Number 2, Rachel Amber is dead. My runner-up choice actually did shock me when it happened. The previous episode gave me hope that we would be able to find Rachel Amber alive, since Max's power had grown so significantly since the previous points in time. I think what made this even sadder is that Mr. Jefferson wasn't the one that actually killed her, because it was Nathan that gave her an overdose and ended up accidentally killing her. Rachel Amber actually led you to where she was buried through the ghost doe that you see throughout the first 3 episodes. And once she is found, that ghost doe fades away. Seeing Chloe in tears after discovery really plucked at the heartstrings to me, because it was genuine, like, this loss really does hurt my heart. As a side note, when you're in Two Whales Diner after you save it from being blown up in the 5th episode, if you talk to Frank and tell him that you found out Rachel is dead, he will get very angry at first. But when you tell him who killed Rachel, which was, again, Nathan, he will feel bad because he provided Nathan with the drugs that eventually killed Rachel. At this point, Frank realizes that he had a big part in her death, and that Rachel really was about to move on from him because she really did care for Chloe more than him. Number 1, the fate of Kate Marsh. Let me start off by saying that this choice had me completely restart episode 2. My first playthrough, I missed a ton of clues that would have helped me get to the correct decision and help Kate off the roof. I was devastated when I got to the moment where she refused my hand and jumped off. I sat and cried for a good 2 minutes, to be honest with you guys. Kate Marsh is such a great character, and this episode really touched on the very real result of constant bullying. When you talk to Kate in her room, there are several clues that will help you save her. There's a postcard from her dad, the picture of her sisters, and her favorite Bible verse. Any one of those, along with either intervening between her and David or answering the phone when she calls while you're with Chloe, will save her. She is just too sweet of a character to be snuffed out by ignorant people.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
I hope you enjoyed my picks on the top 10 moments in Life is Strange. Do you agree with my choices, or do you have some moments that I may have missed? Let me know in the comment section below. This game was really worth multiple playthroughs, and you will not regret it. Trust me. Did this type of content interest you? Would you like to see more? Well, why not subscribe to my channel, because I do provide great content twice a week completely free. How awesome is that? There are links to my previous videos in the description, so go check those out if you have the free time, because they're there. Free content, you can't pass that up. This has been Jamazoid, and I hope you have a great